The secret intelligent industrial complex gets in line to help shape the foreign policy making, sets up problem reaction solution scenarios to get leaders and the masses to react to the propaganda, so the public demands solutions to the crisis or scenarios that arise or which are created. The media industrial complex sells the vilification of enemies on both sides, the justification, patriotism, national security threats, real or manufactured, as to the reasons for going to war, and to rally the masses to go to war. The World Bankster industrial complex gets in line to fund and bankroll both sides. The food industrial complex gets in line to feed both sides. The medical industrial complex gets in line to provide the medical needs of both sides. The construction industrial complex gets in line to build up the forts needed and sets up post-war reconstruction contracts and jobs. The religious industrial complex on both sides offers the healing process after the blood and carnage. In some cases, a depression and long periods of large-scale unemployment or economic crisis proceeds war times. It's as though it's because it's a lot easier for world corporations and these different complexes to rally the masses to work in their factories if the masses have first been starved and jobless for long periods of time. They're a lot more willing to switch over from being isolationists to being rallied to join, if by so doing they not only are able to work again in so doing, they also get to help the national cause under banners of patriotism or protecting the motherland, or can get back at what the enemy did too. So these type of settings we're thinking are what create the settings for the manufacturing of global killer weapons to be eventually discovered and made. What the people of Earth need to realize is that with all these world corporations, complexes, developments of scientific inventions, communication, travel, distribution abilities, and production, etc., not only have benefits for good, which they should be using to uplift the human family and animal life forms with, but they also come with bad consequences and sums of all their choices if such productions are used for evil purposes. Thus, America and the world has great responsibilities to make sure that such conglomerations of world corporations and complexes don't take over and rule the world through their policymaking, treaties, and corruptions and misuse of powers. There has to be checks and balances through a U.S.-type constitution, Bill of Rights, and national sovereignties for each country. The problem is that such things are still being challenged, eroded, and done away with. Thus, U.S. can now rejoice if it now wakes up and changes individual and collective choices from not upholding the Constitution to that of the rechoice of restoring the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and national sovereignty. The problem still is that many of these conglomerations of consolidated world corporations that continue to gobble up others have been infiltrated by secret combinations. This causes negative ripple effects down the timelines to a negative sum of all the choices made in these conglomerations, resulting in the deaths of many people around the globe, especially if their evil ideologies of depopulation and population control policies are spread, practiced, and enforced throughout the globe. This, our cosmic agent team learned as we followed the ripple effects and studied the historical records of our times and of earlier times, plus heard the warnings of the angels of God and prophetic warnings. Plus, through spirit cams, we also heard the testimony of ghosts who came and testified about how they were murdered because of how globalists had put their evil ideologies and depopulation policies to work, all done in the name of protecting the environment and ruled from what globalists call the human infestations and overpopulation problems and crises. Thus, in these conglomerations of world corporations, complexes, all the benefits for the human family are being perverted into benefits for the ruling class only. Their depopulation plans and policies enforced, their misuse of inventions produced by their slaves in their global factories, all these thus used for evil purposes will also be used to bring about further control over the lives of their slaves. More global taxation is used not for the benefit of the taxpayers, but to fund the global branches of world government, the World Court, World Bank, World Police Force through the UN, World Population Control Commissions, etc. Unless we rechoice now, the confiscation of arms and disarming of the U.S. and the world will continue as the U.S. soldiers become more and more under the United Nations or World Government Police Force control. Unless we rechoice now, the development of smaller condensed weapons of mass destructions are starting to become more and more like in other inhabited worlds' inventions of global killer weapons that can fit into a pan. Unless we rechoice now, this is the inevitable sum, which is why cosmic agents and guardian angels of inhabited worlds are now here in these early decades of the 21st century. We are not going to let the snakes of the world gardens destroy the whole garden. The reason being is Father God of the family in heaven still has many more spirits to send down into mortal bodies to the different school-type inhabited worlds, so they as spirits can have physical experiences in physical bodies. We rejoice in your rechoice, if it be for true love, true charity, and the universal laws of love. For true charity will prevail. As Gandhi once said, "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the ways of truth and love have always prevailed, always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always."
I'll make our government open and transparent so that anyone can ensure that our business is the people's business. And as president, I'm going to make it impossible for congressmen or lobbyists to slip pork barrel projects or corporate welfare into laws when no one's looking, because when I'm president, meetings where laws are written will be more open to the public, no more secrecy. Given our interdependence, any world order that elevates one nation or group of people over another will inevitably fail. Markets and opportunity, health and the environment, an international system that protects sovereignty and human rights while promoting stability and prosperity. These challenges demand global partnership, and that partnership will be stronger if Russia occupies its rightful place as a great power. As I said in Cairo, given our interdependence, any world order that tries to elevate one nation or one group of people over another will inevitably fail. State sovereignty must be a cornerstone of international order. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that